Cool.
Johnny Taylor, how the hell are you, my friend, amigo? How you been,
I'm
man?
uh, I'm good, man. I can't complain. I mean, we're still, in this weird kind of shutdown, but other than that, I mean, I'm kind of used to it.
Yeah, yeah. I was I had to go to Target today. This is the first part. Hey, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Um, all that.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, brand new cycle of things. Um, I went to Target with a friend of mine today, and I was telling her, because we did the whole we did the drive up thing, where the girl just brought the stuff out to your window, and I wanted to tip.
Curbside.
Yeah, yeah, the curbside. I wanted to tip the girl a couple of bucks, but I was like, oh, I bet you because of COVID she can't accept a tip. So
I think they can.
she said that she couldn't, and I said, oh look, this $5 bill just fell. I guess I'm just
Uh,
gonna leave it there. And she kind of laughed and winked, and so, but I was like, I hope to never step foot in a Target again. Um,
you just bring it out, bro.
yeah, I'm cool with some of the stuff. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I miss being around people. I mean, I guess I'm an extrovert because I do miss like being out and being in like a bar and being in a comedy club, obviously. But I mean, there's certain things I think it has forced us to be a little bit more uh, creative with how we do shit, and in some ways it's more efficient.
Yeah, yeah, I'm cool with some of and I totally get the extrovert stuff, but I get that now from going to Trader Joe's a couple times a week. Like that's my
Right.
that's my social hour. That's like I go to the same place, see the same handful of people. You know,
Yeah.
I'm getting it from that.
That's your social time. Going to Trader
Yeah,
Joe's once a week. I
yeah.
mean, there's worse things, I guess. No more
Yeah.
samples though, right? That sucks.
That does. Yeah, I used to love getting a little tiny cup of coffee and then sampling something.
Oh, me
That was always,
too. Yeah, yeah.
that was always so
Did
nice.
you
I was
ever
always
pretend you were? Did you ever pretend you were like a really small person and like this is my no,
no,
just
no,
me, huh?
I never did that. Though, you know what used to get on my
Okay.
nerves about Trader Joe's, and they got rid of it. Uh, it used to get on my nerves when like the moms and dads would let their little kids get a shopping cart, and so then the little kid would
Oh
be pushing.
yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, yeah, the baby shopping cart. Yeah, and then it's just like demolition derby. No ankle was safe.
Yeah, yeah, and they were just putting dumb shit in there, and like the parents just always thought it was the cutest thing in the world. Oh look, they're
Yeah,
shopping. I'm
yeah,
kind
it's
of
not cute. Not
yeah, I'm
cute.
kind of glad that's gone. I'm
Yeah,
good. I'm good with that being gone. You know
yeah.
what I wanted to ask you, and I'm kind of ambushing you with it. I don't know if you're going to be ready for it, but you're kind of always ready for everything. Um,
Usually, yeah.
what was your I found myself listening to Taylor Swift's album Folklore over and over again at the end of the year. What was
Okay.
what was some of the music that saved you this year, 2020?
Oh, yeah. I mean, 2020. What do I mean? I kind of been listening to the same stuff as I did in 2019. I always love Father John Misty. I think he released a couple of singles during this whole thing. Uh, but I've been listening, his whole catalog, but I kind of always do. I kind of went back through Van Halen's whole discography after Eddie Van Halen died, um, which I mean I love so much of that stuff. There's some stuff, I mean, like the last record they made with Hagar is pretty bad,
Uh-huh.
um, but even the last one they did with Roth, like in 2012 or 2013, is solid. He was just an incredible talent. So I listened to all of that, and I kind of went back and went through kind of REM's early stuff. I went back a lot. I went back through a lot of stuff over the past several months, but I'm always kind of doing that. So uh, there's been some great singles this year that came out. Uh,
Did
Yeah,
anything come out this year that really took you by surprise?
yeah.
Um,
This year, it's just like, I mean, I kind of always like, anything new from, I think Taylor Swift's great, honestly. So I haven't listened to the new album, but, I have no doubt that it's rad.
yeah,
Trying to think what came out this year. This year's so weird, that it's like people were releasing records this year. It's kind of wild. Oh, you know what I really did love? Phantom Planet put out a new album this year, and I really loved them. And the new album is just as good. They broke up for like 10 years, and the new album is just as good as their older stuff. So yeah, that Phantom Planet album was really solid.
did you listen to the new Killers?
I haven't really fucked with it, which is weird because I really like the Killers, but I really like the first three records quite a bit, and then they kind of fell off. I did like Brandon Flowers' solo record; it's kind of really electronic.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I haven't messed with the new Killers.
Yeah,
That came out this year.
yeah, I love everything up to was the album after Sam's Town, not like the rarities and
Yeah,
B-sides album, but like the album that had Runaways on it.
yeah, it had Spaceman and Human.
Yeah,
Uh, and yeah, I can't remember what the name of the record is, but I like that one too. I
yeah,
liked
that's
Hot
that.
Fuss and Sam's Town and that one.
Yeah, that's about Sam's Town is a freaking masterpiece.
Oh, I totally agree. I posted about it a couple weeks ago. We watched, my girlfriend and I watched the Netflix show where they kind of go behind the song, and
Uh huh.
we had watched. They did one on REM's "Losing My Religion." We watched that one, and then we watched the Killers talking about When You Were Young, and so that like sent me hurling through like a Killers rabbit hole for like a few days, where I went back and listened to all their shit. And what a great band they were. And I mean, it still are, I imagine, but man, those first three records are just so good.
I watched that one. I watched the REM one as well, and I want to watch. There's one for where they do Nine Inch Nails Hurt. Have you seen that
Yeah, we
one?
we watched that one too. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, it was
But they're
good,
only and
interesting.
they're only like 30 minutes long, right?
Yeah, it's called Song Exploder. Yeah, I really like it. I love going behind like the meanings of songs and kind of the thought process of behind writing the song and recording it. So I fucking love that
Yeah, and
show.
it's never anything that you expected it to be, huh? You're like, oh, it was about that, man.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, I had made a version of what uh, losing my religion was about. That was I wish I wouldn't have overthought it, because it's really just a simple like song about desire, and really yearning for the love of somebody. And that's such a simple meaning to that song, but I had like fucking grandiosed it to the nth degree over the
Yeah,
years.
at the end of the day, yeah, at the end of the day, the song "Losing My Religion" is really just about like kind of like someone leaving you stuck on stupid, right? Like you just lost your religion, like you
Right,
you were
right.
composed, everything was cool, and then you see this person, it just makes you go, oh, I forgot what I was
Right.
doing. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Just kind of like that, kind of almost, they never really get to like a conclusion on it, but it's like unrequited, where just really desires this person. And, maybe they kind of notice them, maybe they don't, but, what a great tune. But I mean, REM's one of my all time favorite bands. So,
I am hoping that they reissue. I'm the vinyl snob. I want everything on vinyl. I am really hoping that they reissue New Adventures in Hi-Fi on vinyl.
oh,
That
yeah.
that is
Yeah.
such a
That's a good one, too.
yeah, and that's a freaking depressing album. That one will put me down the rabbit hole, and like I'll just
Does that one have Imitation of Life on it?
that one has Ebo the Letter,
Oh, yeah. That's a great tune.
Electrolyte. It might have that song, but I was telling a friend of mine today that like when I really love an album, I could have listened to it 1,000 times and I couldn't tell you the names of any of the tracks.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
like I
There's
could
something great about kind of just deeply listening to an album front to back.
Yeah. That's. I mean, I think that's the way they were supposed to be listened to.
for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah, a great album, But yeah, I was curious, like what you discovered or rediscovered last year. Kind of doing like a year end of year recap type thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, what about? Did you go down the Cobra Kai rabbit hole?
Yeah, dude. I watched both. I mean, I'd watched the first season back when it was on YouTube Premium. I think they were calling it YouTube Red for a
Yeah,
minute. I watched it when it came out, and then, which I loved it. Just dumb, fun, and really flipping the nostalgia switch hard. That show takes me back to being a kid watching Karate Kid. It's wild how it does it. Uh, and then I watched the second season when it went to Netflix. And then I binged the entire third season the day it came out. So
did you? I did too. I did too. And um, at the end of the day, I don't have any complaints about season three, but I think season two is my favorite.
me too. Season two is amazing, and I liked season three a lot actually. I thought it was funnier, for sure.
Mhm.
I thought the script was way punchier. Uh, had some decent fight scenes. Uh, and the way they the way they ended it makes you just go like, dude, I want another season now.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to spoil anything, but I was just like, I need another season immediately.
Yeah. I want more, and I want to know, like, who else are they going to bring back, like from early, from the movie, of course.
They brought,
Um,
they brought almost. Will they bring anybody back from the Karate Kid 3? You know,
that's what I'm
will
curious.
Hillary will Hillary will Hillary Swank end up making an appearance?
Yeah, it
These are the
really depends
things,
on like how her career's been of late, right? Because, like, I mean, if she's still,
right?
but if she's still, because she's got an Academy Award, that's she might not be as easy to get
I
as some of
know,
these
right?
other actors that were just like, oh, like, pick, these other guys. I'm sure they were picking up the phone on the first ring. Um, uh,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, she might be a little bit harder to get. Um,
But yeah, I loved it,
what about the Mandalorian?
dude. This is terrible. I only watched one episode, and it's not. I love Star Wars and shit. I watched the first episode because it had my homeboy in it,
Yeah.
uh, and I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. And then I was just like, I'll get to that in a minute, and I never got to it. So, but Alicia and I have been talking about maybe starting it and just kind of binging it.
Okay, so it's something you kind of
Shout
have
out
in your back
Alicia.
pocket. So it's not
Right,
like,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah. Shout out to Alicia Davis, love her. We all love her. She's great. And the Love Horrors.
Yeah, yeah.
Looking
I really do love her.
legit. Hey, can we
Yeah,
talk
for
about
real.
that really quick? I mean, you could stop me, but what I just want to say is that Daniel Humbarger was supposed to do my podcast when he was going through all that, and he texted me one
Uh huh.
day, and he was like, "Hey, I got to do something. I might not be in the best mood afterwards, so I might cancel on you." And I was like, "I get it, I understand." And he never texted me back, and I was like, "All right, that's cool. I get it. I understand where
Right.
his mind is." And then I listened to your podcast with Danya Humbarger, and
Yeah.
I I just wanted to group hug you guys so bad. I was like, "Oh man,
Yeah.
you,
What? Yeah, it's so funny. Uh, Alicia and I, bro, we're since back together, but we broke up,
yay,
and the day it happened, like I need a friend, right? So I go to Daniel Humbarger, funny, very funny comedian, also one of my best friends in the world, and so I hit him up, and he's like, "Oh, I'm here for you, dude. I actually have a date right now, so after the date's over, I'm gonna call you." And I was like, "Cool, that sounds great." And so I'm just bumming out and everything. And like 20 minutes later, he hits me up and I'm like, oh, this is way quicker than I thought it was going to be. And he's like, dude, you'll never guess what happened. And I was like, oh, what? And he's like, I just got dumped. And I was like, fuck. I felt like he was still in my thunder. I was like, no, man, I just got dumped. So we were dumped together. So
did you guys
really,
like
it's a brotherly thing.
did you guys then like kind of try to one up each other on the who got dumped harder? Like, I got dumped over the phone. I got dumped in person. I got dumped in a public
Yeah,
place.
we actually didn't. Were both kind of like, okay, let's just be sad. And then I think we went and got social distance coffee the next day, and
Uh-huh.
and then a couple weeks go by, and he's moving on, and obviously Alicia and I are back together, which is great. Um, so yeah, it was funny, but yeah, shit works out.
Yeah, that's great that it worked out, man. But man, I listened to that podcast that day and I was like, oh God, this is rough. My
Yeah,
my
yeah,
my buddies are
pretty
going through
funny.
it right now. But I'm
Yeah,
glad that
pretty
worked
funny
out.
story.
Yeah.
Oh, me too.
Spe- So speaking of your podcast, I kind of wanted to ask what it was like because like I started my podcast, right? And like I get hits and I get some pretty solid guests, but I'm nowhere
For
near
sure.
time in the game as you've been in the game. So like when I started my podcast, I felt like I was like kind of like taking batting practice and I could take some big swings and I could afford to make some big mistakes, right? But like when you started your
Right.
podcast, you immediately started with like you've already got a huge audience kind of built in, and you're also doing it
Uh,
like your partner, like you've got a great platform. Like, did you
right.
feel some extra pressure on that?
I felt pressure to for the production to be good, and the first couple episodes, the production's kind of shitty. We got it really tuned in now, but those are the kind of things I just think happen with all podcasts. But I didn't want it to sound unprofessional because I got the hard times backing me, as their platform, and they've been so cool to me and family to me, and so I wanted to do good for them, obviously, especially knowing that I would already have kind of an audience built in. Uh, but more than anything, they give me complete autonomy. I can host it how I want, say what I want, uh, within reason, obviously. But
Right.
it's creatively, it's pretty much my own thing, and they have very little input on it, if any, and so it's cool. So I know that uh, I will try to do a great job for them, and the podcast, has been great, and for the most part, the content's been good too. Some episodes are definitely better than others, but I think that's just like when I'm comfortable with somebody, it flows a little bit better, and when I'm just kind of don't know the person, I've had some great guests. Uh, when I don't know the person as well, it's not as seamless. So it's kind of learning to be like, no, I gotta you know take special care of certain guests, so the conversation flows more naturally, and so it pushes me as like a presenter and an interviewer to try to do a better job. Uh, but yeah, for the most part, yeah, no added pressure. I just wanted to do good. But even if I was putting it out by myself, I'd still want to do good anyway. So, and I've had podcasts before where I
Hmm.
didn't have a platform and I didn't have a built-in audience, and you know, I always try to do well on those too. They never did well, but I tried to make it a good product. So
Yeah, I think it ultimately it comes back to us of like, um, if one person listen, if 1,000 persons listen, like at the end of the day, like I need to be happy with the quality of work I put out, and that I helped my guest like give them a platform to communicate
right.
what they wanted to talk about.
Yeah, yeah, and I like your podcast. I've listened to a bunch of episodes. I've been on it once before.
Yeah.
Uh, my girlfriend's been on it a couple of times.
Hmm.
And then just friends, and then people I find interesting, and then some people that I've never even heard of before. And like the Sacramento Made people and stuff. So it's been it's a cool show, and I know a lot of people here in this local scene really really like it too.
Oh man, dude, that just makes that's like the best thing I've heard all year. Oh
Oh,
man, I had
good.
to do
I mean, it's
I had to
pretty
do one.
short year so far,
Yeah,
but
I had to do one of those cheesy jokes. I had to do it. Do you think you would have still done the podcast this year had it not been for the pandemic?
probably not. I didn't really have a desire to have a podcast again, but I was just I'm used to doing 5 shows a week,
Right.
and when I went to having, maybe a couple of shows a month, and those shows were weird, with social distancing and outside and all this other shit that comes along with the, having a global pandemic and trying to be like a professional entertainer during it. And most cases, the money was worse than it ever's been because they have less of a gate, and it's just like I need to do something else to try to get some creativity out there. And
Yeah.
so I pitched it. I had an idea to make a podcast that was basically about like fringe pop culture, whether it be professional wrestling or the Satanic Temple or, fucking cult leaders, comics, anything that's kind of on the uh, fringy subculture of, pop culture. I wanted to do. So I pitched it to the Hard Times and they fucking dug it, and the rest is history, I've been
Hmm.
doing it for 4 months now, and, I've got 15 episodes out. So
Are you getting one episode in a week? Is that the schedule you're trying
yeah,
to keep?
yeah, weekly,
Uh-huh.
with a couple of exceptions, but yeah, for the most part, weekly, never more than 2 weeks between an ep.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to keep up the same schedule, and I missed a week a couple of weeks ago when I was like in transition between like I'm visiting my mom in Bakersfield, and I just that week was just wore me out, and I didn't get anything done that week. I felt bad for a minute, but I was like, oh well, I I had to take care of myself. I couldn't. I was
Yeah,
just
dude.
burned out.
Shit happens. Yeah, I had a week. I skipped a week. The week of the breakup, I was just like, I don't have time to deal with this. I need to cry.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but then I was back on schedule. So,
Did you listen to REM that week?
dude, I listened to. You don't even want to know the dark rabbit hole I went through. You know what I listened to a lot? I listened to a ton of Amy Winehouse, and
Ooh,
yeah,
Amy hurt.
that Back to Black album. Oh my god, dude. I remember this is a funny story. Uh, I posted "Love is a Losing Game" to Facebook. The ultimate like sad breakup song, and
Uh-huh.
people just start texting me. They're like, "You're posting Amy Winehouse. What's wrong?" So funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out to Becky Lynch. She texted me that actually.
Oh man, that's yeah.
She like knew
Becky.
something was up.
Yeah. Um, I don't. So I'm gonna like. I don't know if I'm gonna cry on your shoulder. I'm gonna just like I'm coming to you for advice right now. Um, I don't even feel like an open micer anymore. I don't feel like I never was comfortable calling myself a comic. I was comfortable calling myself an open micer. Um, I don't even feel like that anymore. Like I was like, look at my old
You're like,
notebooks.
did it really happen?
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I feel that like when it opens back up, like I'm gonna start from absolute zero again, and that the momentum and the timing and the whatever I had, like I feel like it's all gone. Have you heard from any other
Well,
like
you're
how's
gonna be
everyone?
rust. We're all feel rusty. I mean, and we're gonna be. I mean, when stuff gets back to a semblance of normal, I don't even. It's never gonna be really normal, at least not in the near future. But when stuff opens up with more of a limited capacity, but like an expanded limited capacity, which hopefully be sometime this summer, I imagine. Uh, we're all going to be rusty, and a lot of people will start that were like, I wanted to start stand up, and then the pandemic happened. I need to do it. There's going to be a lot of those people that are brand new that are going to try starting it, and then a lot of people that were doing it before this won't come back, and then there'll be people that are committed to at least doing it, and if you want to do it as like a hobby, that's fucking cool too. I'm not judging anybody on what stand up means to them, uh, but people that really love it are gonna keep going, and we'll all probably be pretty shitty the first month or so. Although I had some shows and I was fine. It's like riding a bike. I hadn't performed in 3 months, and I did a show, went really well, and then I did another show a couple weeks later, and it was fine. And I did both weekends when the Punchline opened. briefly, and that was super fun. And you're not as rusty as you think you're gonna be.
I was listening to Greg Fitzsimmons' podcast the other day, and he was announcing dates, and he said Sacramento Punchline in March.
That's probably not gonna happen, dude.
Well, you don't think so?
Yeah, they're not gonna be open by March. No.
Man, that sucks. I
I
was
mean,
like,
I have no insider information, but I would be fucking shocked if they were open in March.
because that's already like that's so close, and
It's
like,
soon. It's two
yeah,
months
that's
away. It's
super
very
soon,
soon.
and they're like nowhere. They're moving so slow with the vaccines. You
Oh
know,
yeah, dude. There's no way.
yeah, they're moving super slow with the vaccines. That like it just seems like the timeline just keeps. It feels like it just keeps getting further and further back,
I
and
would
I
say
don't know.
middle of summer would probably be at best, and I would say end of 2021 at worst.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I mean, I can't imagine another year of this, but I mean,
no, because like we're not waiting on the vaccine anymore. Like we know it, it's there.
it's there.
Yeah, it's here.
They're
But
gonna make more, but it's getting it fucking in people's arms. It seems to be the problem.
yeah, they just don't have the bandwidth, as they say,
Yeah,
to do the work that quickly. I don't
yeah.
know. How have you been keeping sharp, dude? Are you writing every day, or are you what are you doing?
No, and I never have written every day. I'm not that disciplined. I'll have bursts, of creativity where I'll write, a bunch of stuff in a short amount of time, and then go weeks and weeks without. I might fine tune some shit that I worked on when I had that creative burst.
Mhm.
But then I'll go a couple of weeks. I'm just not. It's just not my process. Uh, the muse doesn't. I'm not going to waste my time waiting for the muse. And really trying to force it to happen. I just live my life, and shit will happen, and it'll inspire something, or I'll remember something that inspires maybe something that could be turned into a bit. And when the window's open and the muse flies in, I just try to grab onto the ankles before it exits.
Then get drug along for the
I
ride.
just don't want it to, yeah, I don't want it to, yeah, I don't want to, I'm trying to keep it in the room, and, but sometimes it'll come in and I'll be like, I should really do something with that. And then it'll fly through and hadn't got off my bed, so, uh, I just say when I'm inspired, I like to put something together, but if I'm not inspired, I'm not going to force it. That's just how
Mhm.
I am.
Did you have another live album in the can right before this all happened?
Yeah, it is in the can. I did 3 shows. Uh, I was going through a rough period of my life when I recorded these. The album is very funny, and yeah, but it's very drunk. It's I was very drunk for all the shows, and so it comes off like a really good live show, but it's not nearly as tight as my first 2 records. And so
Mm.
it's been a challenge, really kind of picking and choosing what I want to stay on the album, because I did different material at all 3 shows. So there's a lot of paring down, and I just don't know what to leave. And part of me, the first show I liked a lot, and part of me wants to just put it there unedited and just be like, okay, that was the show, and a joke bombed, and that's I just want to leave it in as part of it.
Hmm.
So, but you know, right now I'm bad about communicating with the label about it. They're probably very upset with me, actually. Uh, but it's been a weird year. I haven't been able to prioritize getting it done. That's on me. But I imagine when I get my shit together, you'll see that album in short order. So
Right on, right on. When you did Bumming with the Devil, how many shows was that recorded? Was that just one show, or was that
just
several shows?
one.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I had to nail it. I only had one chance.
Uh,
So yeah, that's one show. And a couple. I had a bit in the middle there that I think we took out for time. The joke was good, and it was just it was already an hour and 3 minutes, so I
mhm.
wanted it to be close to an hour and not an hour and 8 minutes. So I don't think anybody wants to do anything for an hour and 8 minutes, honestly. And
Yeah.
when I'm listening to a comedy album or when I see a special, I want it to be 50 minutes. I want it to be tight, and then I want to move on with my life. You know what I mean? Uh, so I want to, the first, both Tangled and Bumming are both an hour exactly, uh, pretty much, because I wanted it to be like that. And then this new one will be about 50 minutes.
Hmm. That's cool. When the pandemic when the pandemic lets up and we kind of get back to our normal life, do you think you're going to keep the podcast up?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll do it. I'll probably do it until they don't want me to do it anymore. You
Uh
know,
huh.
if that ever happens. But if nothing else, I think I'm getting better at it, and I'm getting better guests now, and so it's cool.
Yeah. Do you? I What I really like about doing it this way is that um, I seem to be so limited before as to like who my guests could be. Like it needed to be somebody who was willing to drive over like on a Saturday morning, you know?
Right.
And it seems like that model of the podcast is out the window. Like I mean, I'm sure like in the future I'll still have the occasional guest that would come over just because like, oh, I'm on the same side of town or let me just come over there. But I don't want to go back to that model anymore. Like I enjoy just being able to set up, you know?
Right. And you could talk to whoever you want, really.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
willing. You know.
You talk to anybody like where yeah, that and it's I think it just opens it up so much more. And and I'm down for it. Are you putting your podcast up on YouTube also, or is it just audio at this point?
I have not. I haven't done video yet, and I know that it's probably a good idea to put it, more places the better. But yeah, I haven't done it yet.
Mm-hmm. Is it something
Not
you're
ruling it out though.
okay? Yeah, I started doing that, and it like it takes so much time to edit it. Like I really um
Right.
I really like one of my podcasting helpers this whole time has been Robert Emoto. Um, I've emailed him several times, like asking him for advice on like, should I try this? Should I try this? And when I see like the work he does on his like 1 minute preview clips, and I like
Huh.
ask him like how, man, that's a lot of work that he's putting into that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. His looks really cool. Like how he does the little preview clip and stuff. And yeah, his podcast is cool. I've listened to a few episodes. That
Yeah,
dude's funny.
I like listening. You know, the thing with and I've told him is like I really like his podcast when he has veteran comics on there and they like kind of like trade stories about like how they learned this and how they learned that versus when he's
Right.
just got a friend on there and they're kind of like sometimes when Ellis is on with him, like it's just like, man, it's just like it's like comedy 101, you know, and like I just like want
For
to write
sure.
all that stuff down. But sometimes when he's got Ellis on, they're just like, oh, remember this one night? And like it's really just two dudes talking about like, you know, just
Right.
what
It's a FaceTime conversation that you're just listening in on.
it, it really is. Yeah. Um, Man, what did you end up doing? So New Year's Eve, you just kicked it old school, huh? Everyone just kind of just stayed home.
Yeah, we stayed in and just rung in the new year, and we stayed up till midnight, which was good, especially as an older person. I was worried. I was tired around 10, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll. And then we watched a little bit of fucking New Year's Rockin' Eve, and then we watched some Anderson Cooper. Kicked back. We saw an awkward interview with Mariah Carey. That was fun. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, just kept it very small.
I heard the Anderson Cooper stuff was pretty good. I heard he was pretty smashed.
Yeah, that they were. It was him and Andy Cohen, that dude from Bravo,
Uh huh.
uh, and yeah, dude, they were like the party light was on. They were definitely like letting the good times roll. So that was entertaining. They were definitely both. You could tell feeling fine.
Man, that yeah, it's been such a crazy year, and it was just uh, like you get. I felt like this, like oh, the year's over, but we're still like in the same shithole we were in like 10 days ago, you know. And that's kind of
It's
like
the
a
same. Yeah, it's the same for sure. Like it was cool to like celebrate, and the connotation, even if 2021's awful, the connotation of 2020 uh, will always bring amongst people. Like, 10 years from now, when someone's like, man, 2020, I'll just be like, yes, that's the one. That's the worst fucking year ever. Like, universally the worst fucking year. And even if 2021's bad, it was good to kind of put 2020 to bed.
Yeah, I don't think we could surpass like how bad 2020 was.
It would
No,
take a Herculean effort.
yeah, because like even like we did put like we were able to elect a new president. We were like scientists were able to come up with the vaccine. So
Right.
um, at least we have that to look forward to. But I don't know, Johnny. I'm still scared, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 20. I mean, there's some challenges ahead. I mean, Trump still technically hasn't gone anywhere. He's still ever present, almost omnipresent. Uh, and, we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. I know senators are planning on objecting to some of the electors. And, uh, you know,
Yeah,
the first month or so, I mean, honestly, the first several months of this year are probably going to be pretty challenging. I mean, people are dying at still a huge rate. Trump doesn't want to leave. Biden's not exactly lighting the world on fire with some of his cabinet choices. Uh, it's going to be a challenging year, but the key is getting the vaccine in people, opening up businesses again, uh, and people are going to be ready to let loose once we're allowed to really live again.
man, I
And
cannot.
it's a good thing. I mean, I can't wait, dude. I mean, I
Yeah,
can't wait. But
I
until then, we got to be smart, mask up, social distance. It's so important. Wash your hands, uh, get vaccinated when you can.
yeah. Don't go to a fucking party with 30 people maskless and just
Or
be like, woo.
600.
Yeah,
I saw the Granite Bay party, and all those fucking knobs are out there just gonna go out to the world and just infect the fucking entire city. It's just nonsense, man.
yeah. I'm fine with my little social distancing, little world bubble that I've been living in the last 10 months, 11. I don't even know how long anymore.
11
Um,
months, and it's like, man, we gotta fucking gotta be okay. Got
hey,
well. I mean, there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
yeah. Do you ever, because one of the things that I did to like work on my mental health this year is I deleted Snapchat and I deleted Twitter. Um, how much longer do you think Twitter's going to hang in there? Like, will Twitter ever go away? It's just like it doesn't even seem
I think
like
it will.
it doesn't even seem
Yeah,
real anymore.
yeah. I mean, it's wild. It's definitely here's what I love about Twitter is that it's still kind of the Wild West. They don't filter anything really. There's certain things, death threats, stuff like that. But it's you're fucking out there as a gunslinger. I remember when I didn't have that many followers, it was like screaming into the void. I had like 500 followers, and nobody, you put your thoughts out there, nobody even looks at them. Barely anybody likes them, and definitely nobody retweets them. So you're not really, you're not making much impact. And then I remember I got like 10,000 followers. I started getting more followers. Uh, and then it was like fun, it was cool. I was starting to get a little more like action and stuff. And then Comedy Central's at midnight had the hashtag wars. And I started participating in those. And then Comedy Central named me, one of the top 10 funniest people on the internet for at midnight. And then I was in the top 10 of their points to me. And then I had 150,000 followers. And then you're just like, everything you say pisses somebody off,
Yeah.
and they will let you know, it's, so most of the time I still think it's fun. And I get a great amount of news from Twitter where I'll see something break on Twitter before I hear it anywhere else.
Yeah.
Um, but it also comes with, people getting mad and people get, I remember back in the 2016 election, Breitbart, put me as, one of the most, 10 dangerous liberals on
What?
Twitter. Yeah. And so I got a bunch of death threats, and like 2016 was crazy. Uh, and I don't get that much anymore, but I still get people. I'll piss a random D-list celebrity, and it'll become a whole thing for a night. But uh, you know, I think Twitter's probably in it for the long haul. Facebook, I don't know. Instagram and Facebook kind of being owned by Facebook. Facebook seems like they could face serious legal problems at some point. So I don't know about them, but I
I
think
think they'll.
Twitter might stick around.
I think they'll break up Facebook. I think they'll make Facebook like be like it wields too much power, and they own Instagram. Um, I I
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Not that I'm for that kind of regulation, but fuck, Johnny, everybody doesn't need a voice. Like there's some people we don't need to hear from.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I mean, yeah, and I see it every day, on mostly on Twitter and on Facebook. Honestly, I'm probably disappointed more in people that I see posting on Facebook sometimes, because a lot of times I know the people, and it bums me out when they have such shitty opinions on things. And uh, yeah, these people I've known for years, where I'm just like, man, really? Are you that fucking dumb? Like, really? You're that dumb, and you have no problem like showing how dumb you are to your friends and family.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I don't know. Facebook, if any of them bum me out, Facebook does.
Yeah. I I'm happiest right now with Instagram. I tried to quit Facebook, but I came back. I came back to it.
I can't quit you, Facebook.
I couldn't quit her, man. Uh, uh, I lasted a few days, maybe a week. I don't know, but
Yeah.
uh, I really like Instagram, and I'm done. I'm done with Twitter. But every once in a while, like you said, there'll be a news story that's breaking, and it's just so new that the only place you're gonna get an update is Twitter.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, like, and Twitter's been around for so long. I remember the first place I ever read about, uh, like when Michael Jackson died.
I was gonna
I,
bring that up.
I
Yeah.
think like I saw it on Twitter. That was like the
Mhm.
first place I saw it, and Twitter was still pretty new at the time. And I was like, wow, this is like, I got this instantly. Like, this just like the coroner just like put the tag on, and somebody's tweeting about it, and so many things since then where, anything that Trump's up to, I'll read it first on Twitter, and as a sports fan, if like somebody got traded, I'll see it on Twitter, before I see it anywhere else.
Oh shit. Let's talk about sports really quick. And
Yes, I like those.
I'm not saying I'm afraid of them, but I'm saying we better watch our back with the Padres.
Oh yeah, Padres are getting stronger for sure. Uh, the Dodgers, I think last year's Dodgers team is one of the best teams in history, it's such a bummer, because it's in that weird season. It'll always be the weird shortened season and the DH and all this shit. But man, that Dodgers team was pretty fucking good.
It was when I knew like anytime they brought freaking Jensen in, I was nervous as fuck, you know.
Oh yeah, it's not the
And
same
we
as he was.
yeah, and we'd been so close so many times that like I never wanted to let myself believe that this was the one, right? This is we're gonna do it.
Right.
But I'm telling you, Johnny, when I saw Urias warming up and I saw that look he had in his eyes, like I said to myself, we got it. That kid's got it. Like
Yeah. Yeah, he's so good. And it's so cool that finally he's healthy and had such a great season, such a great postseason run. And, in my heart, the Dodgers should have won two of them, Uh, they got fucked by the Astros,
Yeah,
went 7 games with a team that is part of in my opinion, the greatest cheating scandal in modern history. So
yeah, yeah. The Red Sox were fucking tough. Like,
they're really good.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Friday Night Lights? The
Oh
movie.
yeah, the high school football movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there's a scene in there where like when they're playing Dallas Carter and the coach is asking Ivory Christensen like, "What's it like in there?" And Ivory Christensen's, "They big, they fast, they dirty." That's exactly what I would think every time I would start watching the Red Sox when we were playing the Red Sox in that World Series. Like that's
Yeah.
all I would think to myself was like, man, they're big, they're fast, they're like they had everything, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I watched 2 games of that series uh at the improv in the bar in LA, and they lost both games, and I just remember like watching them, lose the last game. I think they lost in 5. Did they lose in 5? I think they lost in 5.
They lost in five, but
Yeah, and it was everybody was just so fucking bummed out. Like being in LA for it was like extra bummer.
they really lost. They lost it in Game 3 when Puig put us ahead. Like Puig hit a
Yeah,
home run and put us up by like 3 or 4, like in the 5th inning, and then we lost that lead in the 7th inning. Like that was it, man.
yeah,
Like there wasn't any coming back from that, you know.
yeah. It's such a bummer. But hey, we got one, and you can say put an asterisk on it or not, whatever. We're the world champs. Everybody else played too.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't think. I mean, yeah, I guess they will put an asterisk on it, but like I don't see it as an asterisk.
In my
What
heart, it's not.
I'm a huge fan of the DH in the National League. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I don't give a shit. It's like part of me used to be very like I'm a traditionalist. I'm like, no, the designated hitters an AL thing. The pitchers hit in the NL. But dude, we've had 400,000 people die in this country from a fucking terrible disease. I don't give a shit if they want to use the DH in baseball. Who gives a fuck? Get over it.
Yeah, I like it, and I hope it sticks around, man. But
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it definitely like it's cool that you no longer have, 2 on and 2 outs, and then you have fucking, Walker Bueller up to bat, and you're just like, well, I guess we're fucked. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Or like whatever. So I mean, I like it from that aspect where it's just like, oh well, AJ Pollock's a lot better than whatever pitcher would be pitching tonight.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
So
What's coming up in the future on your podcast? You got any guests that you got any gem guests up your sleeve or anything you want to reveal, talk about?
yeah, I don't know when this is going to come out, but this Wednesday we got Lucien Greaves, the co-founder of the Satanic Temple. Had a super fun chat with him. He's very smart, very nice guy, very funny. And so that's a cool talk. I got Brian Zane from the YouTube channel Wrestling with Regret. He's kind of a pro wrestling commentator, insider, has a big following on YouTube. Uh, we have that coming up. And my friend Sarah Benincasa, author, comedian. We got Lauren Levine, the editor-in-chief of Hard Noise, which is a Hard Times subsidy. Eric Bischoff, WCW's whole president's going to be on. We just had Mickey Avalon. Brian Posehn will be on it. So, yeah, we got a lot of cool people on.
Man, that is a huge list of guests. How far in advance do you have them booked? And are you just constantly reaching out to folks and just waiting to hear back from them? Are you doing all the
Yeah,
booking, or are they helping you?
I've booked everybody so far, and mostly I'm just calling in favors, with people that are friends of mine.
Mhm.
So, uh, and I've had a couple that weren't, but at some point I'm gonna run out of favors and famous people that are homies with me, uh, and have to like reach out. But hopefully, I've still got several months before that.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Johnny. Hey man, thanks for coming on today. I really appreciate it. It's just good to see you too, man. Like,
Oh, it's good to see you.
yeah, I'll be back in town soon, man, and we could do some social distance coffee in the backyard, hopefully. But
Sounds
I'm
good.
like, I'm down for playing by these rules, man. I freaking I miss going up and getting on, doing open mics so much, but I don't miss it enough to fucking worry about, dying over it or getting somebody killed over it,
Right. Yeah. Just be safe, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Hold on, man. It's been 10 months. Maybe it'll be a couple more, but until then, like, just take care of yourself, take care of each other. And, when you go out without a mask and when you don't social distance, uh, it's not that I get it. Like, maybe the person doesn't care if they get sick, or if they don't care but you think about other people, and think about you giving it to somebody that doesn't show any symptoms, and then they go out, they don't even know they have it, and they infect a bunch of people. And then one of those people has a really bad pre-existing condition, and they die. It's just like, we really got to think outside of ourselves a little bit here. So,
Yeah.
not to be preachy, but just don't be fucking
No, no.
stupid,
Like, I really hate that, like, death has just become like a number, like that. Like, I read and I'm
Right.
like, oh shoot, oh good, only 300 deaths in California today. That's not bad, And I'm like, I can't
Right,
believe I
right.
just fucking said that, that, like, still it's like
Yeah,
300 families.
those are people.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, man, Johnny. Like, again, I really appreciate you coming on, and I hope I can see you soon, and I hope we can put this all behind us, man. Thanks for
Yeah,
all
sounds
your
great.
friendship, man. We really
Oh, of
appreciate it.
course, man. Thanks for having me. Good to see you,
All right,
man.
thanks, Johnny. Take care.